Hey guys, this is Marcus Bear, and today I'm going to show you how to jungle Karma. Many people tend to overlook Karma, and that's kind of sad because I think she has really good potential. This guide will hopefully show some of that potential and teach you how to jungle with her. So let's get started. First, I'll show you about Karma's moves and how they work, since it seems like most people don't actually know. Karma's ultimate is Mantra. Using this before a skill will improve it by adding damage and utility. Karma starts off with this at level 1, but can and should be upgraded at level 6, 11, and 16. We'll see what Mantra does for each move when we get to them. Her Q, Inner Flame, is a ranged AoE skill shot that blows up on contact. Anything hit by this will be slowed for 25% within the blast radius. Adding Mantra to this will give it extra damage, twice as slow, and the blast area will blow up for more damage after a delay. Mantra will also make it so that Inner Flame always blows up whether it hits something or not, which makes it easier to hit and can also add a bit of range. As it is Karma's main damage output, this should be gotten at level 1 and maxed first. Focus Resolve is Karma's W. Using this on a champion will reveal them and proc damage 3 times. After 2 seconds, it will also root them. But if the target gets too far away, the link will break and they won't be rooted. Using Mantra adds more damage to this spell, heals you for a percentage of your missing health upon activation, and heals again if you manage to root the champion. You should first get this spell when you intend to gank, either level 3 or 4, and max it last. Inspire, Karma's E, is a shield that blocks any type of damage and also gives a speed buff to the selected target. Using Mantra gives the person the max speed buff of 60%, shields allies around the target for half and gives the same speed buff, and also does damage to any nearby enemy units. Maxing a second helps a lot since it improves both the shield amount and the speed bonus. Lastly is Karma's passive, Gathering Fire. Anytime Karma uses a spell that hits a champion, her cooldown for Mantra goes down 2 seconds. If she auto-attacks a champion, it goes down 1 second. This makes it important to auto-attack champions in both lane and teamfights. W gets the most effect off of this since it procs 3 times. Next I will go into the item build. First off, you of course want to start Hunter's Machete and 5 health potions for Jungle Karma. On your first back you should try and get a Spirit Stone and boost of speed. Karma is very reliant on her cooldowns, so you want to try and get Spirit of the Spectral Wraith early. Other things to get quickly would be Chalice of Harmony, Fiendish Codex, and Cage's Lucky Pick. Sorcerer's Shoes and Haunted Guise will provide you with pretty good spell penetration, and Seeker's Arm Guard will give you some needed armor. A good finished build on Jungle Karma would be Spectral Wraith, Athene's Unholy Grail, Will of the Ancients, Laundry's Torment, Zonia's Hourglass, and Sorcerer's Shoes with Alacrity. Abyssal Scepter, Melonomicon, and Raleigh's Crystal Scepter can be subbed in if they are needed, as they are also decent on Karma. With this type of build, it allows you to stay in fights a long time, constantly have damage output, and kite well. For Masteries, I like to go with a good old 0-21-9, as it will be the best for early jungle clear and it will allow you to keep the buffs for a longer frame of time. The runes I usually use have Move Speed Quints, Attack Speed Marks, Flat Armor Seals, and Scaling Magic Resist Glyphs. You could also use one with some ability power and magic pen, but make sure they have the armor. I prefer the move speed though, and the attack speed isn't a lot bad on her. For jungling, Smite is a must. I like going Exhaust with Smite. Flash is okay too, but I don't think it is needed, and Exhaust helps with ganking. For lane, Ignite is also a good option, but I wouldn't really use any other spell. Now on to actual jungling. Karma should almost always start blue. Make sure to get help from your lanes. Not only do you need a leash, but because Karma is an unorthodox jungler, people will be more willing to counter jungle. Your first hit on the buff should be a Mantra Q. That should actually be your first hit on most camps. Mantra Q will provide the most damage output, especially to jungle minions, since they will stand in the blast radius and get hit by the explosion. After blue, if you don't do a Smiteless clear, you should work your way to the red buff, then golems, then back again. Once you clear the wolves the second time, you should be level 4. If you are too low, or no lanes are gankable, go back and buy item. Once you have all 3 moves, you can gank a lane pretty well. Make sure to let the lane know first. Use your shield for a speed buff, and go in and Mantra Q for an extra slow on damage, and then W them. If you leash them while they are slowed and or you are buffed, then it is more likely they'll be rooted. Remember to keep auto-attacking, whether you have red buff or not. If needed, you can also exhaust. Your first gank should be able to accomplish something good, providing everything goes alright. Karma excels at helping lane, so make sure to do it often. Be careful not to die though. If you can, give your second blue to mid. Karma kinda needs it, but chances are your mid needs it more. Remember you can also shield minions. So when you're pushing a tower, you can shield a minion, and they'll be able to take one more hit usually before dying. Don't be selfish either, make sure to use your shields on other people. One of Karma's not so many weaknesses is that she can't take Dragon or Baron that well by herself. So make sure to get some help. Remember to kite with Karma. She's good at dodging with her shield, and it also makes her a sustained fighter. But also with Mantra Q, she can burst, and she has a bunch of CC in her kit. Most of the time I use Mantra on Q. The upfront damage is nice, but it also slows double the amount, and has a potential for more damage. Mantra E can be useful for clearing larger waves, and team fights where everyone's crowded near each other. And Mantra W can be used for baiting and sustain, but otherwise Mantra Q is where it's at. Thanks for watching my Karma guide. If you want more stuff like this, just tell me somehow. You guys know how to use the internet. And thanks for giving Karma a chance, because most people don't. But remember,
Karma always catches up to you.